Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with the adventures of Grimdisco. Did we hit our goal of 359? Did we enter LFR? And was it a nightmare? Yes, it was. So let's get into this. So yeah, spoilers, we did achieve 359. It took some world quests, paying well over the odds for some PvP gear, and a little splash of crafting. We now have a shiny new spellblade to call our own. Now once we have our primal chaos back up, because yeah, we burn it all using the spellblade, or gaining the spellblade I should say, we'll get ourselves some fancy new shoulders, we're going to ring, neck as we said before. And M plus I think is going to be our best bet to gain those primal chaoses, and that is also probably going to be our next goal, but we shall touch upon that in a second. Now, our damage has, of course, increased, but that's to be expected with the increase in item level we've had. We're currently simming around 38,000 DPS for a standard patchwork style fight. Yeah, we're a little bit lacking in that, but regularly we were hitting over 30,000. Currently, I'm not logging my runs. That's not intentional, I messed up. But we shall, from now on, be advanced logging. So, if you want to do that, all you need to do is simply head into the options, search for advanced combat logging, and just make sure that is ticked. Once that's enabled, then add-ons like auto logs and so on and so forth will be able to collect your combat information. Now back to what we've learned in LFR. From what I can see, our biggest weakness comes from any heavy movement. From everything I've read, to be fair, this is just the way Shadow is. If you don't have procs or an instacast available, then probably your best bet is going to be to reapply pain. So, for that to happen, we're going to need a little macro to remind me, Grim, apply some pain. So let's jump in game, and look at that. So here we are in game, in beautiful, sunny, glorious Orgrimmar. We're back home. Breathe that musty desert air. Yes. So, our goal here is to create an alert, a tell me when that is going to say, hey, you're in combat, but you're moving, which means you're probably not able to cast very much, so maybe you want to think about using Shadow Word Pain. So we're going to go TMW. We'll just click on, or right click on any of our current empty slots, and we're going to create a new group for this, because we want it on a slightly bigger button over here. So here is our new group. And we only want it to show, obviously, in combat. Let's create one, and then slightly bigger. There we go. Okay, so we're on group. We want to now click on icon. And we want spell cooldown, and we're going to track pain. Shadow Word Pain. Okay, so there we go. We got Shadow Word Pain up, but we need to do a few conditions on this. Now, to start with, we're looking for unit attributes, because we want to know if we're moving about, if we're doing something. You see here we have speed and run speed. Now run speed is just the maximum speed. Doesn't care if you're actually moving or not. What we want is speed. So this refers to how fast you're actually traveling. Obviously we want it to affect ourselves. And that would be equal to 0, which means you're stood still. We want if we are not equal to 0. So if we're moving, we want it to do something, but we're going to be moving a lot. We don't always want that to be showing. So we're also going to say, and we are in combat. So we go in combat. Now granted, we do have a notification that this bar will only show if we're in combat, but just better safe than sorry, we're going to do it properly. We're going to do it thoroughly. We are going to say true if we're in combat. So if we're moving and we're in combat, we want this to show. We're not going to have it glow or anything like that. There's no need for any of that. I'm going to say, okay, you tell me when. I'm going to lock that down. You can see nothing's showing. We're all good. So we'll just throw that on there. Now you see, that's like, hey, you're moving about. You're not doing anything. You want to be doing something. Now, we could go further. We could say if we are moving about, and actually we have a proc of Mind Blast, or we have a proc of with Devouring Plague available, then don't worry about this. We're good. We've got other things to press. But for now, we'll leave it like that. We don't want it glowing. We can actually make it a little bit smaller. It's just a little visual identifier saying, hey, you're moving about and you need to be always following ABC, which is always be clicking. That's one of the key things. As stuff falls off my desk, that is one of the key principles of DPS. Always be doing something. There should be no dead space. There shouldn't be a time when you're not pressing a button. But for now, that's us done with our macro. Let's jump back into the video. So with that macro done, we need to look at our goals for the coming week. Currently, the 4 Mythic Dungos for Heroic Raid reward is up. This is a great time for us to finally jump, if we can, into Mythic Plus. Because even Mythic 0 is going to give us that reward, and that gives us a chance at some 372 loot. No matter what, we shall be working towards our goal of Raid. Our next big push for gear is going to be to get to 370. It's only 10 more item levels. With that, we'll be able to enter normal Raid for the first time. Fingers crossed. Before then, we can get a couple more tier pieces. We do still have 5 raid bosses. Yeah, 5 raid bosses left to kill. So yeah, more LFR fun there. Which I shall, of course, record, and I shall log going forward. And if we have any amusing LFR-style car crashes, I will post it for your amusement and for my misery. But so far, it's been relatively clean for LFR. Everyone wants those blue circles around the right. You just run around and you share it for everyone. Yeah, okay, maybe not. But ladies and gentlemen, that's me done. Onwards to 370. Until then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Ladies, everyone.